On to China with the Chinese President Xi Jinping taking to the microphone earlier today in what was a highly anticipated speech. Among other things, he said China will not develop at the expense of other countries. The speech was made to mark 40 years since China first introduced major economic reforms. What was missing from the speech was any mention at all of the slowdown of the Chinese economy or any mention at all of the trade tensions with the United States. From the Hudson Institute, senior fellow and the author of the book, The 100-Year Marathon, Michael Pillsbury, is our next guest, one of the real noted experts on China, especially with regard to this administration's policy dealing with China. So, Michael, I mean, you know, I think we were all looking forward to this speech for the last couple of days, saying, well, what's he going to say?
Yes.
The headlines were sort of like, all right, we're going to keep the reforms going, vague things like that. One thing some picked out was that he basically said, hey, nobody's going to tell us what to do, in not in so many words, you know. But what stood out to you? You would know what to look for. What stood out to you from the speech?
Well, it's a surprise and it's bad news. A lot of Chinese were calling around in advance saying this is going to be a reform speech. He's not going to mention Marxism, but he did. He's going to mention reforms of intellectual property theft, which he did not. They implied to us in advance that this is going to be something about majority-owned foreign companies can now operate. He didn't mention that either. So it's almost as this we could speculate that there was a draft in advance that was more reform-oriented and answered some of President Trump's demands, shall we say, and that somehow the hardliners dropped all that and went back to the standard hardline approach that the Chinese economy is basically under control of the Communist Party. They have a private sector, but it's barely half of the economy, some people say. And he's reinforcing Communist Party control. And frankly, it caused the Asian stock markets to drop. I think they were disappointed in the speech, too.
They were. It did seem that way. All right, let me dig down a little deeper and focus on one particular issue, because whatever you want to say about tariffs back and forth and all this kind of thing, most observers think the IP theft, intellectual property theft, is the issue to look at with the Chinese. So tell us what you were hearing. Were you talking to what you considered to be good sources inside of China that were telling you something would have happened in the speech that did not?
Yes, that's what I heard. And more than that, last week, the last couple of weeks, there have been Chinese newspaper stories saying that they intend to criminalize intellectual property theft, raise the penalty for it to a much higher level in terms of fines, even have major investigations of it. So that would have been a big breakthrough. But frankly, the shot at President Trump, that no one is in a position to dictate to the Chinese people, that's the exact quote, that's not helpful either. Right. So I'm an optimist overall, but I keep wondering whether putting the tariffs back on is going to have to be redone because they're simply showing no progress.
Okay, so that's important. So if you were advising the administration, according to what I read, that's not certainly out of the question of something you might do, would you be saying, hey, now's the time to get tough? What's the next best step from this administration in dealing with China as you currently see it?
Well, they've got to have the next round of face-to-face talks. That was postponed by the Chinese by telephone until January. That's the first step, the actual face-to-face talks. If you want to be optimistic, there'll be a Chinese offer at those talks, and it will include a large purchase of American goods. The second thing to look at is some sort of a verifiable step the Chinese can take, either in the area of the wholly owned foreign companies or property theft or this forcible technology transfer. Okay. The other thing, obviously, is the situation with Miss Meng and taking the two Canadians hostage, if you will. So I look for progress in any one of those areas. But so far today, there's simply no progress.
So not a good sign. You don't read into this as a good sign by any stretch.
Right. And what President Trump can do without actually putting the tariffs back on, he can authorize Bob Lighthizer to start the public hearings to consider the pros and cons of going for the full tariffs on all Chinese exports to us starting March 1st, let's say. He can start those hearings. That's required by law.
Yeah, talk about it before you actually go up to the 25%. All right, unfortunately, because of some of the breaking news, we have to wrap this up now. Thank you, Michael. It's good to get your insight on this.
China's not going away as an issue, is it?
That's for sure. That is the understatement of the year, whether the markets want it to or not. It is not. Michael Pillsbury.